Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishwaro Guratmati Multibeda Vibhagine Vyomavda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Welcome. So we begin, we just do a brief recap on verse 8.6. We did 8.6 last time, right? It is
I think we were
Jesus,
just about finished with it.
yeah, Jesus' modesty, mind control, as well as sense control of the wise people is indeed said to be spontaneous because of natural self-restraint. Does the wise person experience peace? So just to find a hook, now just to connect with the text, this is a very beautiful verse in which Gaudapada address a little bit about the benefit of self-knowledge and the behavior or traits of the yoni. It says that this is genuine modesty. There is no pride or any sort of sense of vanity. And the person somehow it has a certain degree of self-control due to the entire body of knowledge, which begins with Ishvara, Mitya knowledge, and then Satya knowledge. And then the person has purified through Kama Yoga, Upasana, Shravana, and Manana, Nididhyasana, to the extent that the person lives in to a certain degree in harmony with one's environment, not having to deal with conflict and karma and all those things. So, and then this observance of Dharma becomes something spontaneous and natural, because what is the whole process that brings about Vairagya is nothing but the process of purification of the mind, the development of certain qualifications. And then once the mind is refined, purified, so it is natural in the sense that you don't, it does not require effort. And then conclusion is only then the person attains peace, which is the fruit of this self-knowledge. Before that, we need to really keep an eye, remember the teachings on karma, dharma, upasana, and observe our conduct in life, and acknowledge when we are making mistakes without making ourselves guilt by any means, because we make mistakes. Even yonis make mistakes, or subject make mistakes. So until we are somehow spontaneous enough, not needing to be vigilant, those virtues, they are part of the process of purification of the mind. A yoni will also work, even a yoni will work on improving or making certain virtues that are not yet natural, mean to say that the yoni is still interested in purification. What is a yoni to begin with? Yoni is one who has this knowledge in regards to one's true nature. And this knowledge is what makes a yani. But the fruits of this knowledge depends on a certain degree of purification or refinement. And then it's nature that the yani says, so no, I know what I am, but I want to have a good life. I want to experience peace, and then I don't want to create conflict to people around me. I want to add value to the Dharma field. And then for that, I keep an eye on some negative tendencies or attitudes so that they can, nothing resists the light of knowledge. So if you see something, you're just watching that and seeing, well, this has to go. Why? Because it did not serve me. It may have served me in the past, but no longer. So, and then when you see you are being transformed by the very light of this knowledge, so a yani may as well wish to develop further virtues to make them more and more natural. That's the point. So Ātmā makes a point here saying that that people, when he says that from the Vedantic angle, Dharma and all the values and virtues is also mithya. So Jnana Nishta is something that transcends Dharma and the Dharma. But then when he presents that, he says people may interpret this teaching by saying that once Jnana is gained, Dharma can be forsaken, and then Gaudapada warned that there is no concession. No, Dharma is higher. Dharma is the most important, whether one is a jnani or a jnanista with a firm self-knowledge. When he takes the incarnation, even avatars of the Lord, when they come to this empirical plane, they have to be observing Dharma. Vedanta, Karma, Dharma is compulsory to every avatar, even for them. Okay. The yani has sadhanatraya sampatti because he has known that moksha, freedom, is one's very nature. He does not have to do sadhana. He does not need even mumukshutva. Why? Because mumukshutva is the ultimate desire for the internalization, clear assimilation, internalization, to the extent that this knowledge remains as a constant remembrance in the background as what you really are. So the yani does not have even desire for mumukshutva. So because he understood his nature to be free from bondage, free from knowledge and ignorance. Okay. And then another good passage here, because of jnana and discipline. So the yani has the natural capacity to not entertain thoughts that are inimical to his or her true nature. Because he was explained that thoughts, they arise, they rise in the mind, regardless. It comes from the subconscious mind. So residuals of impure thoughts may be still deposited in the causal body, and they come, but the yani has no problem to not entertaining any of those impure thoughts. So therefore, the virtues, they appear to be natural to them. If they are not natural, they are in the process of becoming natural to the yani. Yani is the one who is not going to engage on thoughts and attitudes which are not in harmony with the true nature of reality, And then he reminds us that FRIR, reduction with regard to emotional disturbance, and then intensity and frequency. All of that defines the goal, which is the fruits of self-knowledge. And then he reminds us that the verse 8:6 and 8:7, 8:5 and 8:6 should be read together. They talk about that. They talk about simulation of knowledge and spontaneity of the virtues derived from the assimilation of self-knowledge. Shankaracharya gives a contextual meaning of the word Vinaya. The word's popular meaning is humility, and in Krishna's language is referred to as amanitvam. The pronoun this humility, this Vinaya in front of Vinaya, means that this is a genuine kind of humility, okay? Is humiliant based on profound self-knowledge, which brings about virtues which need not to be faked. They are spontaneous, they are genuine, the virtues. So when he says this Vinaya means to say this genuine humility, which is possible only by the means of jnana. Verse 8:7, that state of duality, which consists of experience along with external objects, is considered to be the awakened state. That state which consists of experience without external objects is considered to be the dream state. So now he begins revising the teachings of Mandukya before he wraps up the Karika teachings, which was added by him. So he's reminding us that Mandukya is all about the three states and the three kinds of experience and the three kinds of objects of experience. So a state means duality. State means an experiencing entity, experiencing objects by which they have experiences, that state of duality, which consists of experience of one's external or internal objects, or even absence of tangible objects, such as the case of the deep sleep, is the base of the teaching of the Mandukya. The Mandukya is there to break it all down so that we understand the three states, and we know that there is something which is often referred to as adhisthanam, which is turiya. It is the ground, it is the support for the mind in three states, having experience, which are of those respective objects of experience. And then he says, the waking state, we have experience of external objects. The dream state, of course, you experience internal objects. So he did not say, but I anticipate. That state, which consists of experience without external objects, is the dream state. So external objects, the waking state; internal objects, the dream state. This is all duality. Duality fundamentally is what? Experiencer and experienced, with experience in between. Experiencer, experience of an object. And that can be on any one of these three states, which are common states. Those are the most common states or order, or realms, or dimensions of experience. And then in the mystical world, it's said that there are many other states in which you still find the same duality, appearing duality, having certain experience, using a certain pramana or body by which you experience those realms of objects, the upper or the lower soul. So experience is duality, and we stay here only containing the three levels of experience, the dream, the wake, and the deep sleep, so that we don't need to go into mysticism, because Vedanta has no interest in that. You find that in the Vedic scriptures, but not in Vedanta. Before winding up the entire Karika teaching, in the next verse, which starts with the other chapter, Amagama, I think it was the last chapter, Gaudapada wishes to, no, the first or the second, I don't know. Gaudapada wishes to remind us that of the Mandukya Upanishad itself, he summarized the central teaching of the Upanishad, which are the three states, a discrimination between Turiya and the three states. He defines the Jagrata, Svapna, and Shushupti, and points out that Turiya is the substratum, okay? Is the base, the ground, the adstana, the consciousness in which states take place and experience on different realms. And then he says again something that we all know. So the experiencer is in a process of continuous change. The objects of experience are continuously changing, and the experience we gain is also a changing phenomenon. So everything is changing, and then he reminds us that change is the very definition of mithya, and change cannot be possible. It cannot exist without a ground which is unchanging. It must exist within or upon us a fixed, unchanging ground of conscious existence. The changing three states are located based upon the changeless Turiya consciousness existence of non-dual nature, which is the only real reality. And it's free and independent, ever free from whatsoever is changing upon Turiya. What is changed? The entire universe, not only the awakening state universe, the Vyavaharika, but all universe, all dimensions, howsoever more subtle or more dense, everything is just superimposed, based, located within consciousness. As we say, nothing escapes consciousness. For people who believe that in any one of those alternative dualities, freedom may be possible. No, it's not possible. Freedom is only possible to the extent that you recognize that you are the unchanging consciousness in all universe, all dimensions, all realms, all sorts of experience exist within consciousness. So Swami suggests that in this last final recap of the Mandukya teaching, it seems that perhaps Gaudapada borrowed some Buddhistic terms from some Buddhistic books. He did not say it for sure, but he said maybe. And then he used some other words there, okay? So I'm not going to go into that. Does not matter how we call those three states. We have even named to the three entity experience those three states. We know that all of that is a changing phenomenon, mithya, and in each one of those different, let's say the other two, the the dream, let's take the dream world. There is an experience entity, but this experience entity cannot really gain knowledge, wisdom in that state. In deep sleep as well, unfortunate, everybody is in bliss, experience this Ananda Maya Kosha, and nobody gets the knowledge that this is my true fundamental free and independent nature, the base, the ground, the adhisthana. Nobody, people enter, come back. And then Swami Paramarthananda says in all other dimensions as well, you cannot get this wisdom because all this subtle universe, looking down there, we don't know, because it may be much more dense than it is here. And it may be really hell, if we find sometimes that there is a lot of hell here in this planet. So there are maybe some other physical dense realms that in which some very advanced people go to spend some time before they come back as a cockroach or any insect. But what is important here is to know that according to our scriptures, this physical dimension in which we find ourselves in, this realm of duality in which we have an intellect, which potential for wisdom, knowledge, and we have the sense organs, and not only sense organ, because the dreamer has the sense organs as well. That's why he sees things and so on, but he does not have the physical sense instrument. So it seems that without the sense instruments of reception and action, it becomes very difficult to extract wisdom from experience, and we take it from our dream experience. We experience things there, and in retrospective, as an awaker, you try to gain some wisdom from that, but it fades very quickly, and usually it does not make much sense. Some people try to explore those experiences in retrospective, analyzing dreams, taking notes, it says something in regards to one's unconscious mind, definitely, But fundamentally, I have asked that to many people, including to James, if one can get self-knowledge during the dream state, I ask it to everybody, or even in other, I used to ask it now, a decade I don't ask it anymore, but even in other dimensions, higher lokas, and the common sense in our sampradaya is no, you can't get really knowledge from this, because although there is an objective experience, it's an experience that is you experience basically the content, the mental emotional content of your mind, okay? And again, we can observe our dream state to agree with it, in the dream state, experience contents of my mind, impressions of my mind, emotional, mental, even intellectual concepts, all of that can be recycled, so quote unquote, to produce the dream state. So all of these dualities, they present change, they present different field of experience, different objects, different experiencing entities or instruments of experience. But it seems that in order to produce Punyam Papa, we need to be on a more structure, order, a reality in which we have not only the sense organs, but the sense instruments to receive experience on a denser level and respond to the stimulus coming from this, from our life circumstance. Responding is the key. The way I'm going to respond is going to say much in regards to my level of growth or development of wisdom and so on, and receiving the circumstances which are difficult with a spirit of it's okay, It's all good. Thank you. All of that now is the process by which we grow, we refine. So I'm just emphasizing that there are different orders. They are all meteor. The experience of different objects will be there. But there is something which is the background, which is the adsthanan, which is the base, the support, the turiya, the Brahman, the kasha, howsoever we call it. There is that is there in all realms of experience, all dimensions. It's there because nothing escapes this consciousness, but it seems that in this order here, this knowledge, I am the Turiyan Adhisthana, and I'm free and independent from the experiencer, the experience, and the objects. This knowledge seems to be available in this structure, this Vyavaharika, which appears to be more physical, more tangible to all of us. And there is suggestions that it's not possible in other realms, although we may even find some apparent contradictions, because the whole talk about, no, if you refine, if you become a yogi, you go to Brahma Loka and then you get self-knowledge directly from Mr. Brahmaji, okay? So we don't know. I don't know. I know that people who are always complain of this order, saying that here is impossible, we need to go to the fourth or fifth or sixth dimension. People who complain on those terms, I think they are wasting some degree of energy and intelligence, because nobody knows how it's going to be. You know, we know here, we know what can be done here, and rather than victimize ourselves, say, oh no, I want to be, you know, you just follow the program, as James used to say, and just grow, purify, refine, because it's possible here. There is a possibility that it's possible only in a dense kind of dimension such as this one. And but now we have an opportunity, huh? Isn't it, Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to make the most of it. This is our opportunity.
And we came this far. We're in contact with the Sampradaya, with the scripture, with the Guru. So what else we need, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
In dream avastha, in the state of the dream, there is experience, but there are no corresponding external objects because the sense organs are closed. So in the dream, there is an experience, but the object is not really there. They're just memories, subtle memories, impressions, mental impressions of those objects. And it says that the sense organs are closed. So we may say that, but sometimes even some Paramarthananda says sense organs are there, but the sense instruments are not there. You need the sense instruments to contact the world of external object, which is the Vyavaharika. So only the mind is operational in the dream state, and it's just experience one's vasanas, you know, and from the vasanas of the mind, these projects occur and experience are generated, but there are no corresponding external objects. So the simple example is, in the dream state, you fulfill a huge dream of yours, whatsoever it is, and then when you wake up, you know, you don't find any correspondence. You still have no money, or have no beloved one, or have no job, or have no this and no that. So experience without external object is the dream. Experience with objects is Jagrata. Verse 8:8. That state which is without experiences and without external object is considered to be the sleep state. It means the deep sleep, the dreamless sleep. That state which is without experience. So there are no experience, or there are experience. This is also very subtle controversial discussion here. So in the dream state, in the sleepless state, okay, so are there experience or not experience? Here it says it is without experience because there are no objects, there are no projected internal objects or neither external objects. So is the sleep state. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the Ātmā, the self to be known, are all discussed by the wise. So it's a bit confusing, this verse. That state which is without experience and without external objects. So it means to say you are not experience your inner vasanas and you are not experience the external objects. That is the deep sleep state, the dreamless sleep state. So you're not experience the external or the internal. And then he says knowledge, the object of knowledge and the self to be known are always discussed by the wise. It seems almost that he's changing the subject from one phrase to another, combining two concepts. Yeah, of course. So the wise is going to always be, the scripture and the gurus are always going to talk about Ātmā, which is self-knowledge. But here he says knowledge and the object of knowledge and the Ātmā. Because if you analyze Vedanta from the standpoint of Mandukya, you analyze what? The experience of an object in on a certain state, which is the awakened state, is the most relevant. You are gaining some knowledge in regards to those objects of experience. So now you have experience of objects and a certain knowledge of the value of those objects or the attributes of those objects, but all of that has to be contextualized within the Ātmā. Then he says knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the Ātmā, the Turiya, the ground, are to be known. And these are the discussions you find with the wise people. In the science, we have scientists which are very wise in terms of science. They are discussing knowledge in regards to phenomenal objects. And but they do not include consciousness, and they miss out the only reality as we know. Deep sleep is defined as the state in which there is no experience and no object. Of course, if there are no object, there is no experience. So is there experience? It seems there is, and here and there we see in our text that there is an experience because we like it. We cannot like something unless we experience that thing, In retrospect, we say, yes, I like very much deep sleep. You cannot like something unless you have had an experience that is pleasurable. But there is no experience of any sort of more tangible object. Gaudapada used the word lokotaram for this state, meaning transcendence of both the internal and the external worlds. The deep sleep, you are not experience the external world of object, neither your internal vasanas, the elements, the objects, the impressions, the memories. You are not experience neither one nor the other, and as if it is transcending both. What do the Yanis talk about? The Yanis, they are aware that there are experiences and there is knowledge in regards to everything. But the Yani likes to talk about that in respect to Turiya, because regardless of what kind of knowledge is gained in the awakened state, the only fundamental knowledge is the knowledge aham Turiya's me that's going to resolve the individual. Now the Yanis are aware of these things. These three things, Yana, knowledge, and then experience, and Vijnana, I forgot what Vijnana goes for. in the objects of experience. So experience, experiencer, experience, and the object of experience. The object in contact with the experience is going to bring about experience now, and experience is the other side of knowledge. Knowledge has on the other side experience attached to it. So all of this an empirical, apparent, physical reality, such empirical such. So all these are meteor reality, no? Yana refers to the experiences. Inyanya are the corresponding objects. The yana is the knowledge / experience you have as you contact the object during those states. No? And he said, this is all empirical realities. These changes require a changeless adstana, which is turiya, which is in the language of the Upanishads, the Mandukya, is the projector, the sustainer, and the experiencer, turiya, Brahman consciousness, somehow due to the power of Maya, appears as if projecting, sustaining and experiencing itself. Not that Brahman is an experiencer, not that Brahman does any act of projecting, and not that Brahman does any act of maintaining and sustaining. But for that, we have three entities, to explain this apparent universe as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as the ones that keep projecting, sustaining. But the fundamental here is that there is only one principle, and this principle is turiya, the adstana, because no projection is possible, no sustenance is possible, no experience is possible, no destruction is possible. Because if you pull turiya, if you pull consciousness, if you pull Brahman, none of this is possible. Why? Because everything is just a projection upon Brahman. You pull the screen on which all of that is superimposed. You have nothing. So fundamentally, we say that Brahman is the causeless cause of the universe. But as we know in Mandukya, at the very end, we have to agree with the fact that there is no universe ever projected, sustained, or destroyed. All of that is a mirage, like Mithya, the universe, empirical Mithya. Just as the awaker projects the dream, sustains the dream, and enters the dream, and experiences the dream, and gets knowledge from the dream. Similarly, Ātmā alone, with the help of the power of Maya, projects this Jagrata Prapancha, sustains it and experience or witness it, and from a different angle, and it changes it, recycles it from moment to moment. So without this power of the Ātmā, of turiya, of adstana, nothing is possible. This adstana is the true projector. He does everything by its mere presence, because it does not do anything. Why? Because nothing ever exists. Nothing was ever created. There was a book, there was a compilation of talks of Papaji in those days. The title was "Nothing Ever Exists." I think you know, Lynn. Nothing ever exists. So this Brahman, this adstana is changeless turiya. It's called Vinyanya. Tell me, pronounce this to me, Lynn, you.
Vignayam.
Vinyam, okay.
Vignayam.
Yeah, now we're never going to make it. This thing occurs in the seventh mantra. I'm not going to try to repeat this name. This Vinyan occurs in the seventh mantra of the Mandukya, the beautiful, famous, glorious mantra. This is synonymous of Satyam, Turiya, and experiences Mithya, the knower, the known, and the objects of knowledge are all Mithya. The wise people know both Satya and Mithya, and they talk about these two things. So when we say that the wise person talks about Mithya, because he talks about the experiencer and the objects of experience and the knowledge gained in contact, he talks about that because you need Mithya to have a conversation. Without Mithya, there is no conversation. The wise must talk about Mithya, but just to say, pull Mithya and you're going to find Satya, pull the carpet and then you will see the emptiness is the fullness of consciousness, is Satya. Therefore, the wise talk about these things. Krishna refers to these in the Gita. For the unreal Mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non-being. The ultimate truth is both. The real and the unreal is seen by the knowers of the truth. So there is no reality, no reality. And there is no reality in reality either. There is a saying that was very famous in the past, which was extracted from the Gita. From the real, there is never any anathema, as we say. No, there is anathema. No, there is no anathema. Right? And in the end, even the notion of Ātmā has to be retracted. For the unreal Mithya, there is never anything real in there except the adhisthana, the ground, the background, the support. Fundamentally, in simple language, all is Brahman and Brahman alone. All is consciousness. All is what we are as consciousness. And any and everything else is just Mithya projection. And we live within Mithya projection as a jiva projected. And then we get this projected scriptural knowledge. And all of that is to help us to understand that underneath all these unreal projections, there is reality, which is that which never changes, which is our true nature, which is free and independent from any and everything that changed because it was projected. This is seen by the knowers of the truth, it said in the chapter 2. Wisdom means that you understand Satya as Satya, Mithya as Mithya, and we do not confuse one with the other. This is the most difficult thing, is not make this confusion at the very end. Wisdom means understand Satya as Satya and Mithya as Mithya without superimpose Satya and Mithya in Satya. In other words, not make any confusion as you go about unfolding or learning these teachings, because the teacher is going to talk about Satya Mithya, Satya Mithya, Satya Mithya. And some teachings are there to explain Satya, some teachings are there to unfold Mithya as not real. But since Satya is the ground of Mithya, and Mithya is so closely superimposed upon Satya, such as the mind, the intellect, superimposed upon consciousness, it's so easy to mix up both, from either way, from consciousness to the intellect to consciousness. You get confused. So what is my true nature? Is consciousness, which is not the pure intellect. So can I know and see and experience things as consciousness? Yes and no. You're going to need the help of an instrument of knowledge, meaning to say the mind, the intellect, and so on. But without this, so my true nature is consciousness. Am I going to have an experience when this body dies? Yes and no. So no as this so-and-so body, mind, sense complex, but yet you're going to continue to experience through all jivas existing in the cosmos, no? Consciousness is going to be using all these instruments of experience slash knowledge. So this is the essence of the Upanishad. The knowledge of Satya and Satya, Mithya is the sense of Mandukya. The wise people have this knowledge and discuss it, but only when required. As I often say, in order to teach, you need to have some people around you saying like Arjuna did in the second chapter of the Gita. I'm confused. I mean, I can't figure it out. I'm suffering. Please teach me. Swami Shimaya used to emphasize this passage beautifully and dramatically. Teach me, I can't make it on my own, Next verse, when the threefold knowledge and the threefold object of knowledge are known in order, that man, that woman, I'm stopping talking in terms of man and human. I'm educating myself to say that human being of great intelligence indeed enjoys omniscience by himself, and then I'm in trouble again, by oneself, in this verse everywhere. When the threefold knowledge and the threefold object of knowledge are known in order. So what is this threefold knowledge? It probably refers to the knowledge of the three states, awaking, dream, and deep sleep. When the threefold knowledge and the objects of knowledge available in those three states are known in order, in their respective order, that human being of great intelligence, because intelligence is intelligence is not IQ, by the way. Intelligence is something of a different nature. And there are a lot of high IQ human beings, people, but they are not wise people. They are still infantile, so to speak. They're still chasing more billions, more trillions, or whatever, not knowing that they are destroying their soul. Therefore, they will never enjoy the knowledge in regard to their eternal, Turiya, omniscient nature, omniscient, because I am consciousness, I am the knowledge. I am that conscious existence which is present all over the universe. I am omniscience. So a person of great intelligence, which means wisdom, only then enjoys this knowledge of one's omniscience nature. It does so by himself in this verse everywhere. By himself, why? Because it cannot be given to anybody. You cannot go to the school or to college or to the university. Okay, no, I want to hear knowledge. I heard that there is a university, and then I will stay there 6 years. Then I'm gonna get this to real knowledge, and then I will be free from samsara. No, cannot be sold, cannot be given. It has to be acquired by himself alone, by herself alone. No, it's a individual merit effort. Therefore, this great knowledge, which allows this person to enjoy one's omniscience nature, is gained by oneself in this very birth, where anywhere you go, this knowledge is available. Why? You are always there as the ground of existence in every corner of this planet. When next birth, why? Why to postpone it? And then he say, this birth, why to postpone it? Gaudapadis present the essence of Mandukya in a slightly different language. Each of these three states has got experience and the relevant objects. The respective objects are there, in each one of these states. And we have a body for each one of these states. For each one of these states, we also need a vehicle of experience, an instrument of experience, or a body that allows us to experience. So we need a stula, stula anubhava and stula prapancha. In the dream state, we have the stula anubhava and the stula prapancha in the awakened state, and then we have another body for the deep sleep state. So he is going to go talking about different language, different terms. But we have our three terms. We have the Vishwa, the Taijadza, and the Pranya, Jiva, the three entities which are going to experience their relevant or respective objects, respect to what? Condition to what? To that state and that entity, that instrument of knowing, of knowledge, of experience, this kind of realm of experience, of dualistic experience. And then again, he's saying that in the dream state, we have an experience of objects, but they are not external, but they are inner objects. We call that objects of the dream state. The other state, the awakened state, you experience the external object. And then he says that in the dreamless sleep, there is experience. Not only, now he apparently contradicts the scriptures, say so in Shupti. There are experience. There are even two kinds of experience. So you experience total blankness, and at the same time you experience bliss. You experience nothing or total ignorance, and literally total ignorance is said to be bliss, Anandamaya Kosha. There is great sukham, great joy is experienced. So there is blankness, which is total ignorance, but then there is a sense of peace, of ananda. So therefore we have two experience, ignorance or blankness, nothingness, and we have an experience of joy, ananda, sukham. And then it said that both are objects of experience of the dream, of the dreamless sleep state. Deep sleep state, we experience two things: emptiness or ignorance, the void, blankness, howsoever we call, but we experience also a great satisfaction, peace. Thus, in all the three states, there are relevant experience, and we experience even more than one object, according to Swamiji here, in the deep sleep. In the previous verse, the words upalambam, vasu, were used for experience of objects, respectively. In this verse, Gaudapada used the words yanam and yayam for experience of and objects respectively. All of these three pairs of experience are objects, and objects are subject to continuous change. So we remember we did this Mandukya, and for each one of these realms, dimension, we have a set of the experiencer, the experience, and the kind of object. So we have names. The entire universe of the dense awake state is called Virat, right? Virat, and then the entire universe of the subtle world is called Viranyagarbha, and the entire universe of the causal realm is called Ishvara. So we experience things within those universe. We have an entity experience through a certain instrument of experience, I mean to say a certain body, experience one of these three worlds, okay? All of this is the empirical satyam. All of this is mithya, or empirical reality. There are three pairs of experience, and objects, or the world being experienced. But through all of these three realms, there is the Turiya Adhisthanam. It's going to permeate or pervade all these three pairs. This is called Turiya Ātmā in the Mandukya. The wise person is one who knows not only those realms constituted by these three pairs, or infinite realms. In every realm, there are three pairs. The field of experience, an entity experience, and whatsoever experience is gained by the contact. There are infinite of three pairs. All these three pairs require consciousness, the adhisthanam on which this phenomenon is projected. There is an adhisthanam for these pairs and all pairs, and it's called Turiya Ātmā. The wise person is one who knows not only the pairs, the three pairs in any duality. Any duality has the three pairs: knower, knowledge, and object of knowledge. Any reality, any dimension of duality, you find these three principles, three pillars of duality. The wise person talks about this, but only as a means to point out to the adhisthanam, the substratum, holding these three pairs. Isn't it beautiful? So simple, very simple. Although the wise person is only talking about these things to point to the adhisthanam, most people, they get caught up on those three aspects of all realms of duality, you understand? Knower, known, and knowledge. And they don't give much attention to the ground consciousness. Isn't it curious? And then people get lost in all kinds of, different spiritual knowledge, mystical or otherwise, and they are missing the true message of the Upanishads. The threefold experiences and the threefold objects of experience must be learned gradually. You cannot learn it from one day to another, because qualifications must be developed. The mind has to become subtle and very wise to understand that all of these descriptions are just to point the intellect to that which is the only reality, which is the adhisthanam, consciousness. This knowledge, these teachings must be gained gradually, learned gradually. Thereafter, withdrawing from these three pairs, one has to come to the adhisthanam, the knowledge of the Ātmā. Knowing the Turiya is the ultimate goal of all these teachings. And you cannot know Turiya, consciousness of Brahman, as you know the pairs, the knower, the knowledge, and the objects of knowledge. These three pairs, you can get knowledge objectively, because they all are constituted by attributes and properties that allows us to understand what is a knower. Oh, a knower in this realm, in this planet, is a crazy person, because every knower is crazy. You know, a knower is someone that you have to be careful, because you know, it may cause conflict anytime in its surrounding. So we know what a knower is, you know, and then we know what other objects are. And when a knower wants to know another object, which is a knower as well, which is another jiva, and then there is room for even more conflict. So we know what objects, inert objects are. We know kinds of knowledge we can gain in this interaction. No? But the goal of all of that is to get the knowledge of consciousness, which never changes, which is free and independent of this trinity, knower, known, and knowledge. And this knowledge, it must be gained gradually, because development is a must. Development comes with Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. And you can get into this knowledge, you can get into the Upanishads and know that fundamentally the Upanishad is the best purifier. If you stay with it, it's purified like more than any other sadhana. But you can do a lot of other sadhanas, Karma Yoga and Upasana. And knowing this knowledge is only possible by claiming Aham Brahmasmi, claiming I am that Adhistana, I am that realm, support, ground. For that student of great wisdom, purified, refined intellect, what is the gain? The gain is a sense of fullness, satisfaction, completeness, and peace. It's the benefit is only that, a sense. Why I say a sense? Because the student, he got the knowledge, he is still associated with the body-mind sense complex, and he's still an experienced entities, and the fruit of this knowledge does not go to Ātmā or consciousness, it goes to the jiva attached to that Ātmā who got the knowledge. And the jiva, being an entity who still experiences the world, he's going to have a sense of fullness as opposed to smallness and incompletion. Fullness and completion as opposed to, incompletion and smallness. So that's the benefit. And that gives peace, ananta, which is the goal, happiness, which is the goal of every human being alive. He does not miss anything and does not have any desires in life. Nothing is away from him, because he understood his nature as the space in which everything is contained. He is the Adhistana, appearing in the form of the everything around, the entire cosmos, the entire universe. Okay, time is over. This final verse, it's better we go slow. It's missing only 10 verses, and the last 10 verses, they are short and quick, fast. We need to squeeze. Anything from you guys? Any squeeze from you guys?
I'm really appreciating this, Arlindo. Thank you. And the Gita, and it's really making my nidhyasana, that's such a difficult word for me, more profound. And I'm really working on that a lot. So it's really reminded me of the importance of that. So I've been really appreciating.
Good.
And this as well.
It's important for us to know that these meetings work, and they help us to consolidate this self-knowledge. Okie dokie. So I'm still a little bit like that. I just came yesterday. And I will be more rested on Friday, and then we will be back with the Gita. Friday, no? Yeah, today is Wednesday. Yeah. Namaste. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Rolando.
Bye-bye. Bye now. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Ciao.
Adios.
Adios. Oh, I forgot adios.